Thank you for your curiosity. With us today is the Karate Combat Heavyweight Champion, former UFC contender, one of the best fighters in the world, Smiling Sam Alvey. I don't know why the man's always smiling. This dude hits people and then they go to sleep, and then we're like, I think I see why. Sir, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm feeling wonderful, my friend. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. I greatly appreciate you for your time. So Sam, I want to start at the beginning. Could you tell me what were you like as a child, just so that we kind of get the picture of who Smiling Sam was?
Yeah, I was a band nerd. I was just a nerdy kid. Well, I wasn't all that good at any of the sports or anything, but I played the trumpet real well. That was really me until I started fighting. I did everything. Like I fished and hunted and played baseball, and I tried to play football, but I got the West Nile virus. Almost killed me. Took me out of ruined my football career, and so I went into the band. And that's kind of where I found my happy spot till I started fighting.
Wow. Damn, I'm so sorry you had to go through that, man. That's a bit traumatic. It's a little
It,
scary
it,
to go
it
through
was a
that.
long time ago. It wasn't traumatic for me, but my parents probably were traumatized. It's like there was a week where the
Yeah.
doctors wouldn't say I was going to be okay.
Wow. Damn, but I'm happy you're still here, man. I'm happy that your health is still intact and everything's going well for you.
Yeah,
But
I'm glad I made
those
it through
small,
there too.
those scares are terrifying, brother. Like I can't imagine that. So how old were you when that happened, though?
I think it would have been my sophomore year of high school. I don't know what's that, 14 or 15?
Like 15?
Yeah, somewhere in
Right.
there.
Wow. Dude, that's a lot. It's a lot of pressure to put on yourself at that time and then have to deal with it. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, but
No, shoot, it's no worries at all.
I'm happy that that's the case. We've still got you. But how did you start training martial arts? Like, what discipline did you begin with in the beginning?
Uh, At the beginning, I just started fighting. I didn't have any training or anything. I didn't do anything. I just fought, and I had a good time doing it. I won more than I lost, and so I just said I'll keep doing it. And eventually, they said they'll pay me. I said, "Well, that's fantastic. I'll do it even more now." And somewhere after they started paying me, I kind of was the head coach at the gym, and I just started telling people how to fight, and I had no idea, but it worked out all right for me.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. I would have thought you'd like started in like a specific discipline because your striking's really crisp, your ground game is really good. I've never seen you not be able to get out of a bad position. So I'm like, really? Okay. I mean, some people got it like that, man. I can't imagine that. But
Yeah,
then where did you?
I'm just tougher than I
Hmm?
am smart, so it paid off.
I mean, it definitely has to help. I don't think it hurts at all ever. But where did the nickname Smiling Sam come from? Like, where did that originate?
I've always been a happy kid. I've always been a happy dude. Everything I'm doing, everything I do, I try and give 10% more. And it's just who I've always been. So I believe it was my dad that came up with Smiling Sam first. There were a couple other names that were thrown around, and none of them were any good. And that one just kind of stuck. So yeah, my dad came up with Smiling Sam.
Shout out to Dad. Let's get some love in there for that one. But you did
Yeah.
have an impressive UFC career. You were top middleweight in the world. You got a lot of experience. What was your hardest fight and against who?
Yeah, hardest fight was Nate Marquardt. He was my coach on The Ultimate Fighter. I had the opportunity to fight him in his backyard in Colorado. Had a great time doing it. I won the fight too, so it's kind of another reason I like it so much. But it was a wonderful experience getting ready for him. He was one of the few fights where I knew how good he was, and I had to go in and try and prove myself against him.
With his background, especially Nate Marquardt, I think is highly underrated by a lot of the casual fans don't know it, like as well as the diehard fans. Like we watched him compete against the best in the world week in and week out, and the dude was tough. And he said he was your coach at one point. That had to be really emotional, I guess. Was there some type of emotion going into that where you're like, oh my god, I really got to fight my coach?
No, I was thrilled about it. Like the whole time, oh my god, I'm like the only fighter ever who gets to fight a coach. No, I was thrilled about it. I've always said I want to fight my friends. I'm going to make some money. Whoever I fight's going to make some money. And so, why would I want someone I don't like to make money with me? If I like you, I want to fight you.
I respect that. I think that's a very different perspective from what we're normally used to hearing from fighters. Like, oh, I don't want to fight my teammates. I never want to go up against them. But I like that you have that mentality, man. That's pretty dope that you think it that way and you have that like, yeah.
Sean Strickland and I are buddies. I've been friends with him for a long time. And if ever I got the opportunity to fight him, I'd knock the shit out of
That's dope. I mean, I think Sean would be real fucking happy about that too, because he seems like the kind of guy that'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, Sean would be game. He would be even more eager than me because when we spar, he wins more than I do. We gotta get some money on the line to inspire me to hit him a little harder.
That might help. That would help a lot. Imagine the motivation of it being added. But you have so much experience, and you do have a great deal of knowledge in the game. What experience, from your experience, excuse me, what advice would you give to these up and coming fighters who want to go to a UFC or a Bellator or a PFL?
Yeah. Wrestle for as long as you can against everyone. I do everything you can. Wrestle. And then once you have a good base, then start doing your everything else. Then start boxing and Muay Thai and taekwondoing. But yeah, there's nothing better for a person than wrestling, both physically and mentally.
I agree with that. I come from a wrestling family, and all the wrestlers in my family are as tough as they come. And the younger generation, they're better than us, like 10 times better.
And they absolutely are. Right now you've got a lot of kickboxing champs who are the champions, or kickboxing studs that are the champions of the UFC. And all of them, except Pereira, have incredible takedown defense. They have all spent their time learning how to stop people from taking them down.
Yeah, they've gotten much better now because that aspect of the game, if you don't have a ground game like we just saw with Ellis to Spain, you're going to get destroyed in the UFC. Everybody can grapple in the UFC at that level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. It's if you don't have wrestling, you can't compete in the sport.
I respect that. But how did you end up in karate combat, and what is it like now that you're the world heavyweight champion?
Man, now that I'm the world heavyweight champion in karate combat, doors are opening for me. At all moments, people are coming up, flocking to me, wanting autographs and pictures. It's pretty humbling being the champion of the karate combat. And really just getting into it, I just stumbled upon it. I found it. My buddy Raymond Daniels was fighting, so I tuned in to watch him fight. I just fell in love with it immediately. Like, this sport is incredible. So I started messaging him, DMing him, saying, hey, what did it take to get in? And eventually they reached out to me and said, you want to fight for us? He said, more than anything. And so we set it up. Before finding them, I tried to do bare knuckle boxing. I tried to do it. I couldn't get anyone from around the world to fight me. And I don't mean it unmodestly, but nice car drive by next to me. It's a Mercedes. No, not Lamborghini. That Mercedes, Lamborghini. Anyways, yeah, I couldn't get anyone to agree to fight me. It was ridiculous.
I mean, I can't say I blame them because if your name comes up on my desk and we're in the same weight class, I have to kind of like scratch my head and go, okay, well, I can make it this type of fight. No, but Sam has a lot of experience. He probably survived that shit and be fine.
Well, that's what I had to do. I went up to heavyweight. I couldn't get anywhere at 205 or middleweight, so I had to go up 3 weight classes from where I normally am. And that's where I found my first fight out of the UFC was against Big Mac Graham. And so I fought him. The boy was 275 pounds, at weigh-ins. He was a big man. And we had a hell of a fight, and I got the win. And from that, I went on to karate combat.
I'm happy that you got into the karate combat because right now it looks like it's just elevating itself so fast, and I think it's what we thought UFC was going to be. We always thought it was going to get like this big incline out of nowhere and just kind of go all the way up into the mainstream media. And now it is. Karate combat, especially with President Awesome, Coach Asim, he seems to be really propelling the sport forward.
Mm-hmm.
Got you guys competing in some of the better arenas in some better parts of the world. So it's just amazing to see this like this. And then
it all started with me. They hired me, and then it was an upwards trajectory from that moment.
So you became the Conor McGregor karate combat, when they ask you how much you were.
100% me, yeah. The Mike Perry of karate combat.
Even better, because that guy's way violent and doesn't have any fear from anything. I think I'm terrified of him. I think I have nightmares of Mike Perry showing up and being like, fight me. And I'll be like, no, we're good. I'm going to pass that cup. I'm good. But I'm happy to see you doing the thing, man. You seem really happy doing what you love. I mean, some of your videos on Instagram, for anyone who's not following you, they need to follow you on Instagram. It's fucking hilarious. You did a video on like when you went to go fight for the world title and like your preparation.
I have so much fun. I started making longer YouTube videos too, and I made my TikTok is what started it all. I love social media. I love getting to hang out with the fans of the sport, and I get to meet people like you all the time because of it.
Yeah, man, and we're super grateful for it. And we get to see your personality shine through it, which is really fucking hilarious. I love watching your videos, man. You'd be cracking me the fuck up. I'd be like, oh my god, he did that shit with a straight face.
Anytime you guys need to see a smile, just tune in.
Yeah, man, it's working for you so far, and I love that you do have that optimism. But when can we expect to see you compete again? Because we want to see you go in and kill somebody else in the cage or the pit. Excuse me.
I'm hoping to fight in July here in Nashville. Actually, that's where I live. I believe karate combat is coming to Nashville. I want to headline that.
Wow, that would be fucking dope. And Nashville's a big fight town now. I've seen a lot of fighters coming out of Nashville now. I don't know if there was just a recent boom or maybe that's just what it was always like.
Well, I train out at Guardian MMA, and we are like the budding gym of Middle Tennessee. We are the gym that people want to come to and train with. We have some of the best jiu-jitsu and striking in the state. So that's probably why you're seeing so many good fighters coming out of here.
Yeah, and I believe Michael Chandler lives there. I mean, he
Michael
trains in Florida, but I believe he lives there.
Yeah, Michael Chandler, I think he lives in Florida. He just owns a gym in Nashville. Not actually, his gym kicked me out, so we don't talk about his gym.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, his gym ditched me long time ago. So I found a better gym in Guardian. And anyone that ever wants to train with me, Guardian's got an open door policy. Come on in and we get some work together.
Damn, so that means everybody that goes to Nashville, if you want to train with Sam Alvey, go in, find out
Guardian
what that's
MMA.
Damn, Guardian MMA is going to get a lot of traction now. The coach will be like, all right, we got to shut the open door policy down. People coming here, man.
I'll fight them then. I'll fight my coach. Now you leave it open. If people want to get punched by Smiling Sam, I'm willing to do
it. I think coach would appreciate it and love it too. So I don't think he'd be against it. But you know, you still got a long career, but in terms of experience, something that I wanted to ask a lot of fighters at that level, because you're at the highest level of the sport and you understand this game from the inside and out. On the business aspect, what is something that you think a lot of young fighters should understand a little better when they start to sign these contracts?
Winning is the most important, but social media presence, being remembered, is a close second. Like, you got to win. But if you win a lot and have no personality, nobody's going to remember you, nobody's going to pay you. If you win enough but have a huge presence, have the ability to make people remember your name, every organization will want you. Get on your social media. Make it a priority that you post to Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, every day, because it will change your life. You don't even have to be good at it. Just post constantly. Anything you can do to make somebody remember you, even if it's as easy as smiling in front of the camera, do it.
That's good advice. It's just the young fighters that are coming up, because I know a lot of the younger fighters are also hearing a lot of the fighters talk about fighter pay. It's something that I've never heard you complain about. Is there like a secret to it? Like, do you have a way of calculating expenses in a way that you're able to deal with such a thing? Or is there something that maybe a lot of other fighters are not saying? Like, hey, we spend our money a lot more in that sense.
They all spend their money a lot more. You find a gym. Some gyms take 10%. I found a gym that will not take 10%. And you can negotiate with your gyms. And then I paid out my coaches separately. Management, to get in the UFC can be difficult. You might need management. But once you're in the UFC, management does nothing for you. You can run that yourself. And that'll save you 10 to 20%. Don't sign any contract with anyone that says that wants more than 10%. None of them are worth it. And fighter pay is good. I mean, we get paid so much more than we're worth, really. And that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but my first 5, 6, 7 fights in the UFC, nobody was paying to watch me. Nobody was coming to the venue to watch Smiling Sam, which means the UFC made no money on me. They were investing in what I could be, what I then became. And for somebody to be willing to pay me $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and not make a penny off me is ridiculous. Find me another sport in the world that will do that. Find me another job in the world that'll do that. You won't find it. Boxing doesn't do that. Boxing pays only the people that bring people, to the pay-per-views. UFC pays us all. And then once you are the champion, once you're the biggest draw, once you're headlining the cards, then you get millions of dollars. You'll get a lot of money for the fight, and then you get the pay-per-view points. So as you increase your profitability for the company, they pay you accordingly.
Yeah, because of the topic being so like, it's so wishy-washy, because you hear half the fighters say that they don't make enough money. And then I kind of did the math in my head and I was like, dude, if you compete 4 times a year, you're over 6 figures. There's no way you're not fine. I don't know anybody who makes $100,000 that's complaining.
Right. Your first contract in the UFC, you'll make over $100,000 a year. Now, 4 fights might be a lot for much. It was never much for me, but some people don't like fighting that much. You'll be over 103 fights most of the time. With the backroom bonuses where you just get a check in the mail for this or that, I still get checks from the UFC for being in their video game. Apparently, if people play with me a lot, I get a check every year for about $2,000. And it's just, I don't know when that'll stop, but I always get happy when it shows up. There are so many ways the UFC will make you money outside of just fighting. And then if you are winning your fights, they reward you as Donald Trump would say, big league. They will reward you bigly with that second contract, and then you go from making enough but not a lot to making a lot. I think my second contract in the UFC was for it's like 40,000 and 40,000, which is crazy. That was after 3 fights, and then I'm making $80,000 to win a fight. Um, and it's they take care of you if you're willing to put in the work and do what you're supposed to do. If you make yourself memorable, which is Conor McGregor's biggest trait. Don't be Conor. Don't try and imitate what he does, because you will all come short. Be you. Be the part that your friends like about you. Just be it louder and in front of people. Let others see what you are and enjoy you for that.
Thank you for the words of wisdom, man, because that's absolutely something that a lot of the fighters at the higher level say constantly. Like, just be yourself, but make sure your personality shines through, but you don't want to be somebody else. And that's what we see a lot of people do. They do try to imitate Conor. They try to do the speech pattern. It doesn't work, because that's who Conor truly is behind closed doors. It's not like the facade he's putting up in front of people. That's probably the copy's part of his personality. And he's like, hey, people kind of like this, so I'm just going to slap it in the front and everybody's going to take it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It's WWE kind of drew a blueprint for us. You don't want to be as comical. Although I'll bet you if you were to get, a comical guy like the WWE in the UFC, talented enough, it would do big. But you take what your personality is and you just let people see it. And fighters don't do that. Fighters get on the microphone and say, well, I want to thank my team, and I want to thank my wife, my family. It's like, the audience does not care. They have tuned you out immediately. But if you get on that microphone and say, your wife is in my fucking DMs, that is quoted for the rest of the time. My balls is hot, whatever that means. Say anything that is you, just say it louder. Don't be afraid of letting people see you. Some will love you, some will hate you. Both of them will pay you.
That's the whole point that I think a lot of them miss, is both will pay you, and that's what matters the most. And I love that you did that. The Conor impression was actually pretty good, so we might have to play that game in the future with you. See how many impressions you can pull up on it. I love it, man. It fucking works. But yeah, Derek Lewis, my balls were hot is now a shirt. There's a shirt that they were wearing at the St. Louis event. Somebody had the shirt. My balls was hot.
I'll bet you he's made so much money off that shirt. I'll bet you he's made close to $1 million off that shirt. I'll bet.
I'll put that same bet too, especially after he did the Manscaped commercial. That was hilarious.
Yeah. And you can make so much. That's something the UFC gives fighters more than any other sport will. Every other sport, you need to be the best in that sport to get the name recognition. UFC, you just have to be there and win a couple times. You need to be there and say my balls is hot. You need to have that one little thing, and the UFC will give you the platform that you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, and I think that that's where a lot of fighters are not kind of getting that idea. It's like, yeah, once you make it to the big league, it's great that you got there. Now you got to do something with it. I'm always happy to see when you talk, because you seem to be able to make it a shift in the paradigm. Sometimes it goes from being a very serious conversation, and they're like, oh, it was such a great fight, and then you'll get on the mic and say something hysterical. And people are like, okay, we like this guy, because this guy, not only did he just go knock somebody the fuck out, now he's making us crack up. So again, like you said, it shines through. Now I can make sure that I get a check. And like you said, 80 grand in a single night. There's nowhere in the world you're going to make 80,000 in a night. It's not happening. I don't care where you.
A lot of fighters will point out it's not in one night. It's an 8-week camp, and it's this and that's that. But it's 80 grand in one night.
Right. It's 15 minutes worth of work, and there are people that work 9 to 5s, hate the fucking job.
Yeah. And that's I wish I had more fights in the UFC than just about anyone ever, and I wish I had more. I wish I was only halfway done with the UFC, because it just I feel I could compete with any of them at any time, and they just have to give me the opportunity. But now I'm with Karate Combat, making my money there, doing the exact same thing, and having a blast doing it. I'm so thankful that I don't need a 9 to 5 just yet. It might come around. I might need one at some point, but not yet.
Nah, Smiling Sam, as long as you keep doing what you're doing, brother, I don't see it happening. I'm gonna be transparent. You've been doing it for so long, and you're so great at it. And then on top of that, your understanding of this business is fucking phenomenal. So I don't see you working a 9 to 5. I hope I never see you working 9 to 5. That's my goal for you in life, because I've worked a 9 to 5. I'm on sabbatical currently, so I can say that. So right now they're paying me to take my time off, so we're good. let me give you the last question before I let you go. But when it's all said and done and you hang up the gloves for the last time, you put them on, you put the gloves on, you do the walk, you kill it, you do the thing, you say goodbye to everybody, and you put those gloves on the mat. What do you want your legacy to be in this sport?
First off, I'll never put my gloves on the mat. I think that is so lame when fighters do that. Drives me nuts. It's not an emotional sport. It's a fighting sport. And then everyone does this big emotional gesture. It drives me nuts. And so I'll never lay my gloves on the mat. I will likely, Matt Brown did it the right way. He just put out a tweet. So yeah, I think I'm done. And that was it. That was the end of his tweet. It'll probably be something like that. Or I won't even do that. I'll just not fight again. And people will ask, when are you going to fight? And I'll say, I don't know. When somebody offers me a lot of money. When I'm done with fighting, I have no idea what I'm going to do next. I'll get there. I've been a coach since day one of my career. I enjoy that part of it very much. I'm working real hard on my own personal media empire with TikTok and Twitter and YouTube. YouTube's the one I'm growing right now. I just crossed about 4,200 followers, and I've been doing real well with YouTube. And that's kind of my plan now. Just try and keep doing everything and see what sticks.
I think that's sick, man, and that's hilarious. I just thought, because Robbie Lawler got the really good send off. I didn't get to have it like BJ. That was really sad for me because BJ Penn, I think, deserved the send off. But there are some fighters like you have entertained us for so long, and you're never in a boring fight. It's different with the guys that are like, oh, I went undefeated. I'm like, but who the hell did you fight? Like, who did you actually fight, and where did you you show off the heart? Like, we don't even. I think the casual fans, yes, they care about the wins and losses. I think the diehard fans like myself, we love this sport so much that like we don't give a fuck if you lose. If you go out there and you put it all on the line for us, we'll just adore you and love you forever. And so we just want to see those guys get the right send off. That's why we love the Robbie Lawler send off. That was really nice to have him get his minute of fame and like that second where he puts it up. But I did like about the gloves. I think that it also comes from wrestling, because I remember that all the wrestlers that I grew up with, when they were done with their careers, they used to put the shoe on the middle of the mat and then they would leave. And that was a very ceremonial type of thing. And I was like, I get it. It's kind of like gladiator leaving their shoe.
I get it. And I get that I'm probably wrong, but I hate it.
That's perfect.
I hate them. I'm too much of a dude. Like, I don't want any emotions in anything. Everything's happy at all moments. That's the way I am.
I respect the optimism, which reminds me, like, how is it that you've been managing the ability to smile and be happy all this time, and you beat the shit out of people? It's not like, you just kind of sit there and just one of those smiling dudes. It's like, hey, and like nice to everyone for no reason. You beat the unholiest of shits out of folks, and you're always happy, man. Like, is there a smiling Sam way? Like, we'll be getting like a path to this at some point.
The way I always coach my guys is, listen, if you kill him in the cage, you get twice the purse. So when I go in every cage, every fight, that's the goal. I make twice as much if he dies. It's worked out for me.
I respect that. We're gonna definitely make sure to put your YouTube, the YouTube link for your channel in the description. We'll also put your Instagram and your TikTok in the description. So if anybody wants to follow Smiling Sam, head over down there to the descriptions. We're gonna have everything there in the links. We'll also attach the name so you can make sure you find it quickly, because Smiling Sam is the world champion of karate combat. He is one of the best fighters in the world. And thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate you. If aside from that, is there anything you want to tell the fans?
Yeah, follow me. I'm Smiling Sam. I think I got my name on the screen. I love talking to you. Like, I love the fans more than just about anything, because I would have had no job if not for people like you. So thank you for having me on, and I look forward to talking to anyone that wants to talk to me.
You heard it here first. Make sure to reach out to Smiling Sam. Just follow him on the socials. The guy is one of the greatest in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your curiosity, and thank you, Smiling Sam, for having us today, coming through, blessing us with your time. And I hope that everybody that's watching, you keep your peace. Take care.
Have a good one, man.
Got it, my brother.